Iceploxd here, back with another Team Fortress 2 video. Today we're going to be talking about the sniper. Now, what about the sniper? Well, how to make good sets for the sniper. A lot of people want to look uber cool, and I consider myself looking a pretty fun rockin' set. Now, people want to know, how do I make one? Well, I have some tips for you, and I'm going to lay it to you right here. First off, I recommend you go to loadout.tf because you can test out sets before you have to buy them. On any class, you can put on unusuals, you can put on IFX, all of that cool stuff. Like, let's say I want a trophy belt, alright? And I want a trophy belt, but I want to put an unusual on that. Well, all you have to do is add effect, blah blah blah. Let's just put purple energy. Let's just say that. Well, that's what it would look like. That's what it would look like in game. It's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty close. Now there's some bugs with it, like if you put on, let's see, singularity. I'm pretty sure if you do that, it will it will bug out like no tomorrow. You see that? It won't look like that in game, of course, but that is still a huge recommendation for you guys to check out before you buy your items, because you don't want to buy the items and think that would look good together, but then it looked like total trash. I'm sorry if that's a little bit of a harsh word, but that's probably what it's going to look like if you don't test it out first. So make sure your set works. Another helpful tip to help with your set, it matters that you have a certain color contrast. Everything can be white, but I chose to mix in green with it. And light green works well with white. You need to find colors that look good together. Now, if you want to go for a certain color that doesn't really work well with anything, we'll just have that color. And another backer for this is, if you're not too poor enough, you can get a professional and put it on a weapon and try and get the closest color or a good contrasting color to add on, to add more detail. And that's also another tip. You want to have a lot of detail. In my set right here, of course, the detail comes from Arcana and also from the spilt some cocaine. Ooh, good miss. No, it's the Toowoomba tunic. Anyways, it's a lot of detail overall. Cause look, if you remove that, look, it's so plain. I mean, it still looks good up here, but what about here? You need to be able to support your entire body, unless you're going for like a full out headset, which no, not the one in real life, but like where you have every single cosmetic you are wearing but on your head, so people don't need to look down because everything is up here. And like, I've been thinking, go get a max head and put it on there because it would work well. It would stand out. It is white. It would work with the set. And so another tip I would like to add on is, if you are rich enough, maybe to add in that classic unusual SMG if you can. If you can't, well, rest in peace, mate. But overall, you might want to get a good contrast. Or like, even though this is blue, it's sort of still whitish, so it mixes with the cloud effect and the blue, the light blue, kind of contrasts well with the light green. But I'm not saying that's what it's contrasting with. See, it doesn't look overall too ugly and too outstanding because the light green works a little bit with blue, but blue works amazingly with the white. Make sure, if you can also afford it, this is the next step, to have footprints. Footprints leave markings wherever you walk, and can add even more detail to your set. So what I'm going to be buying soon is gang green footsteps, which is the near exact color of my Arcana effect. So when I'm walking, it's that color, which would make it an uber cool set. And also, if you aren't that rich, you can just switch out the SMG for an Australian one, which is a little bit cheaper, about like 10 keys or so. So I'm going to be moving into the next department of making a good sniper set, which is if you're poor. Now, all these facts are listed now. Those are not useful to poor people. You know, that people need to make a good set, but at a certain price, right? By the way, I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm really not, but I'm just saying I traded my way up here, and I'm making my way around town. And by the way, this is not a video for the top 10 best, cheapest sniper unusuals, not the top 10 sniper unusuals. No, I'm just making sure that you guys get a good set out there. So I would recommend, if you are looking for a good unusual set, is that you go for a nice combo hat cosmetic balance. So maybe the Villain's Veil with Cold Killer like I got going on, or the yellow belt and this anger here, because I saw a set earlier on unusual trade server, and a dude had pretty sure it's called, what is it? It's one of those demon effects, and it was purple, and then he had Your Worst Nightmare or something. It was purple bat. I'm sorry, I'm rusty with the names. I have to remember them again. Or you can go with the Swagmans, and you can go with the yellow belt. Those are real classic loadouts and combinations you can do. I would even try to go for a Desert Marauder and a Villain's Veil. And if you see a running theme here, is that I'm including the veil and everything. You don't need to do that, but it's a really good unusual to include with a set because it looks good and you can show it off, and it's a misc, so it can work with a double misc and a hat set. So that's what I also recommend you do. Now, if you don't have enough money to go and get the yellow belt for a triple unusual effects set, just buy the cheaper one. If you're gonna cover it, it's gonna be covered anyways. The only problem with this is that it's a little bit bigger of a misc, so it might show off more in other places than it wouldn't have with the yellow belt and others. But it's still a good misc to use if you're using the Swagmans. And so that's gonna end the unusual proportion. I need to get back to the proportion where you guys are not that rich. I'm sorry if you don't. I'm not saying you aren't rich. I'm saying if you don't got the money to buy it, you don't got the money to buy it. So let's move on to the next part. So we're looking for unique hats, maybe a little bit of genuine, but overall unique hats. Now, like I said, you want to have detail in your set all around, unless you're going for a headset set. So I would recommend you get a double cross calm. That's one of the more expensive items since it's sniper and spy, but it's still a pretty good face. It's right next to the Villain's Veil, I would say. Another thing I would wear is the Birdman of Australicaz or something, or the Crotomancer. Those are good hat shirts that work well. And the Golden Garment, that's a little bit hard to mix with the set unless you're having the matching toy soldier, but overall that can hold by itself sometimes, and the Tuumbo tunic can totally hold itself most of the time. And then the Marksman works well with the Professionals Yusenka, or I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry. But this can also work with a lot of other sets and still look cool and wacky, because this shirt miss is particularly good because it catches your eye. Now you want to make sure it catches your eye, or the person's eye, in a good way. It needs to look good. Another good misc would have to be the snow sleeves, and the deep cover operator is also a pretty good loadout to have included. Now I have a overall problem, I would say, with face hats or misc or whatever you want to call it, because it's just facial hair. You don't need facial hair unless you're included with the Macho Man, which is a real manly facial hair hat or misc or whatever you want to call it. And this works well because it has the matching glasses with the mustache, so I would get this over that. Anyways, I'm just listing cosmetics at this point. You want to get a good detailed misc, and you want to get get a good detailed misc, right, shirt. You don't need to necessarily get matching pants or matching shoes, but you can then put a misc onto your head and then put a hat to it. And that's basically a detailed loadout right there. You can go with the Birdman of Australia, Catraz, whatever you want to call it. That's a real good shirt to make it detailed and stand out and look good. And so remember what I said with the paint. You want to make it contrast. You want it to make it look good, and you have to make sure you look like you look good to yourself. not like in real life self-esteem, but I would say dress up yourself well. And so that's going to conclude this video on how to make a good sniper set. And I don't think mine is the best out there, but I think that it can stand by its own. I think it looks just good enough to be passed as it's okay, not ew or horrible set, because that's what a lot of people call people's sets that haven't really worked on them. They need to improve on their set building skills. Anyways, stay peace, my Freshies, peace, 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 bye. The outros keep getting worse and worse.